Hi, my name is Helen Miller, and the social problem that I will be discussing today is healthcare insurance. The current policy that is in place is the ACA, Affordable Care Act, or as we may know it, Obamacare. Let's get a little bit more history. According to Medicaid.gov, the ACA provides Americans with better healthcare security by putting in place comprehensive health insurance reforms that will, one, guarantee coverage, two, provide lower healthcare costs, and three, provide more choices, putting individuals, families, and small business in charge of their own healthcare. Well, let's talk about some of the problems that made such a policy come to place. One of the issues were insurance rates were not affordable to those in or with low incomes. Two, those with pre-existing conditions were turned away or denied coverage. Three, those without any income were denied the coverage that they would need in case of a medical or health emergency, or maybe simply just an issue. Now, let's describe the extent of problems that has occurred. Although this policy has been set in place and has had many benefits, in which I would discuss later in this video, it also have had its extent of problems. Let's take a look. According to Heritage.gov, the ACA has reduced insurance competition. Despite the president's repeated promises, rising insurance costs under the ACA continue to burden businesses and families. The overall coverage cost curve is bending upward and not downward as promised as well. So you may be thinking, how many people are affected by this? Well, I personally have been affected by Obamacare. Also, it has been stated through research that 2.7 million people were gained health insurance coverage when this ACA has been passed. Wow, that is great. That is awesome. But many people have also been affected by the drastic changes that has taken place. Well, you may also be asking, well, what does this problem occur? I'm glad that you asked. This problem occurs with those who are unemployed, in lower income areas, and small businesses. Now, let's explain why a policy solution is necessarily or was necessary to address the problems. One, it was necessarily because it would provide services to those in need and at least provide health care to those as an option. Let's get a little bit of history about our ACA. The ACA was passed by Congress, then signed by the President on March 23, 2010, and then on June 28, 2012, the Supreme Court rendered a final decision to uphold the healthcare law, meaning that all individuals would be or have access to health insurance and no one would be turned away. This then created the Obamacare. Now, let's describe some of the goals and objectives of the policy. As stated earlier in the videos, the goals and objectives were to just provide healthcare insurance for those who were lower income areas, to those who maybe already had insurance but needed more coverage, those with small businesses. You know, small businesses don't make as much money as the bigger ones, so it was just giving them an opportunity to provide that type of access to their employees, and again to those with pre-existing conditions. There used to be a time where if you didn't have insurance, or if you did have it and you went for it, but you had a pre-existing condition, you would be turned away. Now, I want to discuss the policy benefits. As stated, this has benefited 2.7 million people, and it has also benefited me. The first year was awesome. It was great. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to stress about how I was going to pay for my doctor's visits or how I was going to pay for that medical emergency that required the emergency room, because Obamacare, the ACA, provided all of my healthcare needs. And although the Obamacare has had its shares of cons, I can say it's also had its share of pros. And I am grateful to be able to be a part of the Obamacare. Thank you.